Hey babies, this week we're revisiting Enchantress, which is almost the exact same deck as before, except I've changed the sideboard a little bit, bringing Emrakul into the main deck and adding another Force of Vigor, also swapping out Stony Silences for Veil of Summers. I really enjoyed playing this deck in the past, and Blood Moon seems like it's in a really good spot right now, so let's get into the games. Alright, round one, we won the die roll. We have Solitary Confinement, Utopia Sprawl, Abundant Growth, Sanctum Weaver. We don't have any Enchantresses. We have a decent amount of lands. I think I want to mulligan and try to find a way to draw extra cards. Alright, we have Enchantress's Presence. We have reasonable stuff, early game plays. Let's keep getting rid of... Do I get rid of an On Thin Ice or an Abundant Growth? I think I get rid of an On Thin Ice. I might need to use the Abundant Growth to find another land at some point. There's a decent chance the Sanctum Weaver dies if I play it early. And let's go ahead and crack this. Get a basic forest and enchant our forests. Sithis, alright, interesting. Sithis is also very susceptible to removal, of course. Opponent plays Esper Sentinel. So usually the best way to play Sithis is to wait until you have 3 mana and get at least one extra thing out of it. Because opponent played Esper Sentinel, I'm putting them on Hammertime right now, although they could be like humans or something like that. Do I go Sithis and think that they don't have removal, or do I go Sanctum Weaver and try to make mana? Let's go with Sithis. Go ahead and get it down early. Opponent untaps. Let's see what they're playing. This On Thin Ice is a little awkward with Esper Sentinel because I don't want to give them the draw, but I'm also tempted to use all of my mana for Sanctum Weaver and On Thin Ice here. Alright, they are playing Hammer. We are not going to block. If they want to put a hammer on Esper Sentinel, that's fine. They do. We're going to take a chunk of damage here, but I get to On Thin Ice away their threat. They have 3 cards in hand. We draw Solitary Confinement. That's also very nice, actually. Is Solitary Confinement better than the Esper Sentinel here, though, is the question. Better than On Thin Ice on Esper Sentinel, I mean. Let's get Snow-Covered Forest, and let's think a little bit. I play Solitary Confinement, I draw a card. I'm going to have to start discarding cards soon. But I can kind of ignore their Esper Sentinel. I'm definitely not playing Enchantress's Presence here. The issue is they're definitely going to get to draw an extra card, and if they have another hammer and a land, they can kill me with Yawgmoth Nexus next turn, so I think I gotta go Confinement to be safe. It's a little bit too likely that the hammer deck has double hammers. We draw Blood Moon, alright. Let's attack for 1, I guess. Opponent untaps. The reason the Confinement is risky here is you need to have a couple Enchantress effects in play for it to really work long term. So I'm probably going to discard Blood Moon for the Solitary Confinement, go Enchantress's Presence this turn, and then go On Thin Ice Sanctum Weaver in some combination of things, and hopefully draw into enchantments, but we'll see. Opponent's going to get a couple draws out of that, but they shouldn't have an answer to Solitary Confinement in their main deck, especially if they're mono-white hammer. They could have like a one of March of Otherworldly Light, but that's probably unlikely. I feel like I've seen that tech like once or twice, but very rare. Usually Hammertime players are all beat down main deck. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic. Let's see what they get. They might just look at their deck and see what options they have. What you get an opponent. They get Cauldron Complete. Alright. Not very impactful for us. Still gets the damage prevented by Solitary Confinement. Haywire Might. Oh god. Well, that's an On Thin Ice target, I guess. They don't have green mana yet, though, either, which is interesting. Let's discard Blood Moon. How do I do this? I can play On Thin Ice, draw a card. Next turn, discard that card, play Enchantress's Presence, draw a card, discard that card, play Sanctum Weaver. I have to draw enchantments. Alright. It's risky. Opponent draws a card with Sentinel. Sithis draws us a card. We find an Abundant Growth. Alright, that's good. Get rid of Haywire Might. Okay. Abundant Growth is great because it draws us 2 cards here. Alright, hold on. Didn't mean to do that. Abundant Growth targeting you. Cast like so. That nets us a card. We draw Blood Moon. Let's pass. Planning to discard Verdant Catacombs for confinement. We're at 10 life now. I don't think that's going to matter, though. Opponent plays Pure Steel Paladin. All right. Shadow Spear. All right. Opponent draws a card. Put Shadow Spear on their guy. Hilariously, because we don't give any of our stuff hexproof and we give stuff Shroud instead, the activated ability on Shadow Spear doesn't matter for removal on us. All right. They're hitting us. They don't get to gain life or do anything with it, though, so I don't know why they did that. Perhaps it was in a fit of rage. Solitary Confinement triggers. Okay, goodbye Verdant Catacombs. Play Enchantress's Presence. Opponent draws a card. We draw a card. It's Emrakul. That's pretty easy for us to discard, I guess. Very hard to cast. I haven't actually casted the Emrakul with this deck yet. You can definitely make enough mana to, but usually your opponent just scoops anyway. It's nice to have insurance against mill, especially since you can't prevent yourself from self-milling if they have enough answers for all of your actual win conditions. But it's neat that you can cast it through counter spells and possibly hit like a Murktide player with an Emrakul if they just let you get a bunch of mana for whatever reason. Alright, opponent is going to realize that Infect doesn't kill us because it's also prevented. Are they going to scoop to that? They do not yet. Okay. We discard Emrakul. Emrakul triggers. We're not really happy about the shuffle because we're more likely to draw lands now, but oh well. Do I just play Blood Moon? It doesn't affect us at all, and it turns off some of their stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Opponent draws with Esper Sentinel. We draw. Sterling Grove, okay. Windswept Heath, not super exciting yet. That's just going to be another thing that we discard. Eventually I'll start playing lands if I have enough that I can discard regularly, but I still gotta play conservatively here. Alright, what's our opponent gonna do? They play a land, they play Springleaf Drum. Okay, they have 5 cards in hand. Hopefully none of them do anything important. That's the world I want to live in. What you got, opponent? We should be able to steal the game from here. It is possible that we just brick and draw a bunch of lands in a row. Sterling Grove helps us with that at least, since we can cash it in for a tutor if things start looking dire. Like we can let Solitary Confinement die and then search for another Solitary Confinement and draw 2 more cards, maybe. Or we can search for something and then cast Sanctum Weaver to put some draw triggers on the stack. I would really like to have Shroud on my stuff so that I know that it's not going anywhere though, in case they do have the March somewhere in their deck. Or another Haywire Might maybe. I doubt they have a second Haywire Might though. Opponent goes to combat and passes, alright. Anything in second main? Nope. Confinement, goodbye Windswept Heath. Let's play Sterling Grove. Draw a couple cards. Opponent draws a card. No, I will not pay 12 mana. We draw, and opponent concedes. Okay, cool. We didn't technically have it locked up there, but they didn't want to keep sitting there waiting for us, so I'm happy with that. Let's bring in all the forces and Seal of Primordium. Rest in Peace doesn't really do anything. Flame Blitz doesn't really do anything. Destiny Spinner doesn't do much, especially since it looks like they're mono white with a possibly just non-existent green splash for Haywire Might, like they might just be using Springleaf Drum for that. And Leyline, of course, doesn't do anything. Let's cut a Destiny Spinner, a Hollowed Haunting, maybe 1 Blood Moon. It is nice since they're a Saga deck, but they're also mostly just playing basic planes, so that doesn't seem great. And what do I want the last thing to be that I cut? Probably Emrakul. Let's just run it like that. Our win conditions are the Destiny Spinners, or our opponent just conceding. Alright, our opponent keeps 7. We have Force of Vigor for early action. We have 2 Enchantresses. We have 2 lands, and we have mana fixing along with things to cast into the Enchantresses, so I say we keep. I think I have to lead on Abundant Growth on my Force here so I can play Sith this next turn. Opponent plays Urza's Saga with nothing else on turn 1. Interesting. We draw Verdant Catacombs. Let's go... Because of the Verdant Catacombs, I don't actually have to play out Abundant Growth yet, so I think I just play Verdant Catacombs and pass. Because I can get a Temple Garden. And that leaves me with 1 Abundant Growth to pitch to Force of Vigor, and then 1 more that I can cast after I get my Enchantresses down. It's tempting to just Force of Vigor away the 1 Urza Saga, but I don't want to be too greedy about it. I'd rather hit 2 permanents with that, hopefully getting a hammer or something else annoying out of the way. Opponent plays Arid Mesa, alright. Plays Haywire Might, alright. Looks like this might be our Force of Vigor coming down now. I don't know though, they are about to just tutor for something anyway. Do I force now and let them get the mana, or let them get the mana next turn? I think I force now. Target, because I definitely have to get rid of the Haywire Might. And this means they don't get to float an extra mana next turn. So they're very far away from Pure Steel doing a thing. They might have Blacksmith skill here, that would be annoying. They get a Plains, looks like they probably have that. I'd assume they'd save Saga with skill. Yep. They save Haywire Might, interesting. Alright, we draw Stomping Ground, let's just go Forest, Sithis. What you got, opponent? They are pretty far behind tempo here, and they can't kill the Sithis with Haywire Might at least. So that's something for us. We have more answers to Might in our deck. It's just a little annoying right now. Also, they don't have green mana yet still. They play Yawgmoth Nexus, okay. If we get to play Enchantress's Presence next turn and then untap with both of our Enchantresses and draw 3 cards with Abundant Growth, I think we're just set up to win this game. Looks like they're going to play March on Sithis, since they're exiling a Pure Steel Paladin here. They march it away, okay. I mean, honestly, this is kind of where you want to be against Hammertime, where they feel like they have to play the control deck. They only have 2 cards left in their hand. We just drew another Enchantress's Presence. If they have a green source, they're probably going to kill one of them this turn, and then the Haywire Might will be gone. We just hope that they don't have, like... Yeah, they didn't even have enough cards in hand to where they could go, like... okay, they kill it. I was wondering if they could go Sigarda's Aid, Hammer, off of a land, but they didn't even have that much in their resources. I think I shock myself and play an Enchantress's Presence here. Paying the 1 for Esper Sentinel. Because next turn I can go Sithis, Abundant Growth, paying 1. What you got, opponent? They draw a card with Horizon Canopy, that's fine. They play another Horizon Canopy, 2 cards in their hand, they play Springleaf Drum, and they hit us with Esper Sentinel for 1. Okay, we draw Windswept Heath. Let's play Windswept Heath, get a Plains. I don't want to give them an opportunity to respond to anything in case I need the mana. Play Sithis. We draw a card. Windswept Heath. Not very exciting. Abundant Growth on our untapped forest. Bunch of triggers. Okay. I will pay for the Esper Sentinel. Not giving them extra cards. We draw a forest. We draw another land. Hopefully we draw an enchantment here. We draw Utopia Sprawl. Okay, that's something at least. That gives us more draws now. Sanctum Weaver, Oblivion Ring. All right, we are in a good spot again. Let's get a white. Opponent has 1 card in hand. If they draw exactly Hammer Sigarda's Aid, they can kill us with Yawgmoth Nexus here. But they don't have the mana anymore since they had to pop that Horizon Canopy. They don't attack into the Sithis, a wise choice. We draw Prismatic Vista. I suppose I play a fetch land and thin my deck first. Do I just Oblivion Ring away the Esper Sentinel since it's moderately annoying? Yeah, I think I do. Triggers on the stack, pay for Sentinel. Yep. Okay. Draw a card, on Thin Ice, great. Blood Moon, great. Now I don't think they have any outs to kill us immediately because we're getting rid of one of their things that can attack and then we're going to Blood Moon away the other one. Blacksmith skill, okay. So that has hexproof. Does that change my calculations at all? I think I still Blood Moon here. And pass. Alright, we have a bunch of enchantments still. We don't have Solitary Confinement lock, but we're pretty close to just winning anyway. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic. They have 1 unknown card in hand. Let's see what they tutor. It's gotta be a hammer, right? Cauldron complete, okay. Going for the long game still. Our opponent just did not keep a very fast hand. They kept something with a bunch of interaction because they're too scared of us. Really nice spot for us to be in. Let's go Forest. On Thin Ice. Try to get rid of the Sentinel again. Well, do I even want to get rid of the Sentinel? I'm going to go for Stoneforge first, I guess. Yes. Okay, draw. Okay, we found the Solitary Confinement, so we should just be fine now. I'm going to get rid of both of their creatures first so they can't make blue mana in case they have a surprise like Spell Pierce or something. And then I'll get Confinement down and hopefully the game will be over. Sterling Grove is also really nice to have. They didn't respond at all, and they concede. Awesome. All right, easy peasy. I'll see you in the next one. All right, round 2 with Enchantress. We won the die roll. We're going to take the play. We have no lands. We are going to mulligan that. We have almost no lands again. Yeah, we have a lot of 3-drops. We could Abundant Growth to try to draw another land, but that's still pretty awkward. I'm going to mulligan this, I think. If this was a Utopia Sprawl instead of an Abundant Growth, I think I might be tempted to it. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to mulligan this. Opponent's mulliganing to 6 as well. We are going to mulligan to 5. Alright, this is reasonable. We have... What do we want to get rid of? We're definitely keeping the 2 lands. We're definitely keeping a Sithis. I think we keep Blood Moon Abundant Growth and get rid of Solitary Confinement Sithis. Yeah, let's do that. Do I want to start off with Abundant Growth? I don't think so. Let's just play Windswept Heath Pass. Increase the chance that we draw a 3rd land early, because I do want to get this Blood Moon down early, since that can steal games pretty often for us. Opponent plays Bloodstained Mire. Let's see if any Thoughtseize effects come our way. They do not. We draw. Sanctum Weaver, okay. What does that change for us? That could bait out a removal spell, possibly. They probably have a removal spell since they just passed. I don't really want to play out the Sithis and just have it die immediately. I'd rather have Sanctum Weaver die. So let's do that. And if it doesn't die, we can choose between playing Sithis Abundant Growth or just Blood Moon next turn. Since they played Bloodstained Mire, I don't think the Blood Moon is going to be great against their deck, but I guess we'll see. It could still be like Creativity or something like that. And then Blood Moon would be great. Opponent cracks Bloodstained Mire. They're going to have a Bolt for this, right? Like, surely. Jetmir's Garden, they don't have removal immediately. They play Wooded Foothills. They crack it. So they could be on a lot of stuff right now. They get Steam Vents. Are they a Zoo deck, maybe? They play Wrenn and 6. They're not getting rid of the Sanctum Weaver. That's surprising. Alright, I'm going to Blood Moon the shit out of them next turn then. Because they gave me the opportunity to, and they could have like Spell Pierces or something like that otherwise. So, what order do I want to do this in? I can Abundant Growth for free value and make the Sanctum Weaver tap for more. That's probably worth it. Especially since I don't have a land drop yet. And I could draw like a fetch or something. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oblivion Ring, not super sexy. Gets rid of the Wrenn and 6 for us eventually though. And let's go ahead and Blood Moon. They didn't have a Bolt there, so I don't imagine that they have one in their hand. And that's pretty much the only way that they're getting rid of this Sanctum Weaver now. Alright, what you got 4-color deck? Bloodstained Mire, we knew about that one. They bolt away our Sanctum Weaver, that's fine. We would like to draw lands. We draw Verdant Catacombs, okay. Let's play Enchantress's Presence first. Probably Oblivion Ring next turn, just to get rid of the Wrenn and 6 so it's not doing stuff anymore. Opponent plays Wooded Foothills, alright. They could still get colored mana by playing like a Fable the Mirror Breaker and getting treasures. They plus Wrenn and 6, alright. Yeah, we have to get rid of that before it can ult and start casting lightning bolts all the time. Utopia Sprawl. Interesting. I think I want to cast that after Sithis, but I don't have a way to do that right now, so I need to run out Utopia Sprawl and then Oblivion Ring. So, Sprawl on the forest. Okay. Okay, we drew a forest, so we're going to make the Sprawl tap for white. We are going to play the forest, play Oblivion Ring, draw a card. We draw Hallowed Haunting. That's going to be our win condition this game, I guess. Get rid of Wrenn and 6. Okie dokie. And I'm probably just going to go ahead and play Hallowed Haunting next turn. Try to close out the game before they find an out. I'm pretty sure that we're playing against Creativity, and I'm pretty sure that they could eventually get out of this if we let them make treasures. We draw Sanctum Weaver. Let's just go ahead and play Hallowed Haunting. White, red. We draw Solitary Confinement. Alright. Can't play any more enchantments this turn rather. This game, Jesus. That'd be scary. I would very much like to play more enchantments this game. Alright, they bolt us at end of turn. That's fine. Kind of a waste of a removal spell on one of our guys, but that's fine. They play Beseiju. Okie dokie. Do you have a 5-drop? Probably not. And they concede. Hooray! Alright, what do we want to bring in against them? Flame Blitz seems like a nice answer for Wrenn and 6. Veil of Summer might be nice depending on how many counterspells they actually have. Rest in Peace is also kind of an option, but we didn't see the Black Splash, so if they are Creativity, they're not playing their Persists part of the combo. Destiny Spinner is interesting. I definitely want to keep all the Blood Moons in. I'm not sure if I want all the Solitary Confinements. They could also just be a Scape Shift deck, since we didn't get that much information out of them. If their Scapeshift Veil of Summer is a little bit better because they're more likely to have like mana leaks, they're probably bringing in Force of Vigors against us, I assume. Let's cut Emrakul. Let's bring in a spinner. Cut. I don't really want to cut Oblivion Ring. Do I cut On Thin Ice? Since they didn't have many targets for it. Yeah, let's do that. We can reevaluate based on what we see in game 2 if we lose it, but I'm not sure if they're Creativity or Scapeshift. Scapeshift makes Solitary Confinement a lot better. Creativity makes On Thin Ice a decent amount better, since we can hit the tokens with it. Or Archons if they get those into play, of course. Is Archon damage or lost life when it triggers? Let me look that up real quick. Archon is lost life, so if they get it in play, they can still kill us through a Solitary Confinement lock. Alright, we don't have a lot of action in this hand, but we do have a Blood Moon, and that might be all we need. So I think I'm going to keep it. These 2 lands are going to turn into mountains, but we can get a couple basics out with these before anything else happens. Abundant Growth, okay. I don't want to play the Abundant Growth yet. Let's just play Verdant and pass. Opponent played Wooded Foothills. All right. Hopefully they tap out for some reason on turn 3 and I just get to play Blood Moon, even though they definitely know that it exists. Let's go ahead and get a basic forest. They didn't play Wrenn and 6. That's good news for us. Enchantress's Presence. I can probably draw out a counterspell with one of these Enchantress's Presences. Prezai. I don't want to play out the Stomping Ground because that signals the Blood Moon a little bit more to them, I think. Let's just play Windswept Heath and pass. Opponent cracks. Get Sanders Lounge. Alright. Still inconclusive as to what exactly they're playing. Pile of Triumphs plus Wrenn and 6 goes in a lot of decks. They get Steam Vents. Tap out. They shocked it in. Tap out. They play Fabled the Mirror Breaker. Alright. So that means that they could get rid of the Blood Moon by attacking with the Goblin Shaman, which is annoying. Don't get me wrong. But let's see what we draw. Abundant Growth. Do I just Blood Moon anyway and make them have the answer to it, or do I go for Enchantress's Presence here? They could just Besage you away our Blood Moon. Let's just go for it. They gave us a Blood Moon through Spell Pierce. We gotta make them have it. They get to start making treasures. Hopefully we find an answer for the Goblin Shaman quickly. They could also just Archon us this turn if they have a creativity. I guess we'll see what happens. They get rid of Lightning Bolt with their Fabled the Mirror Breaker. That's interesting. They attack us for 2. They make a treasure. Alright. We go to 14. Opponent plays a land. Do you have creativity? They tap a green. They Besage you. Alright. Not the end of the world. It wasn't a creativity, which is good news for us. Do I want a forest or a plains here? I think I'd rather have a plains. Opponent taps 3 for Teferi. Okay. So they didn't have the creativity yet. They could still have it next turn. How do we win through this? Alright, let's play Enchantress's Presence. Let's play Utopia Sprawl on our untapped guy. We draw another Utopia Sprawl. Picking green. Tap Abundant Growth on Stomping Ground, so if we turn it into a mountain, it still taps for the right colors of mana. On Thin Ice is interesting. Let's Utopia Sprawl you. White. Okay. Sterling Grove also helps a lot. It would have been nice if we were able to get Sterling Grove down before the Blood Moon got blown up, but what's done is done. Opponent bounces Enchantress's Presence, that's fine. It's already given us a bunch of cards, so it's not a super big deal right now. And we can get it down pretty easily again next turn, since we have so much mana. Opponent cracks Wooded Foothills down to 14, gets a Dwarven Mine. Alright, if they have the Archon, it's coming down soon. We have an On Thin Ice for one of them. We can Sterling Grove for an answer for the other, but we are close to just dying to regular damage too now. Opponent hits us for 2, we go down to 12. Alright, what you got, opponent? They have 4 cards in hand. They didn't have creativity last turn. I think they might have been tempted to play it if they did. They play creativity X2. Okay. Emrakul and Sundering Titan. Weird. So Sundering Titan forces them to hit a bunch of their own stuff because they can only hit 3 of ours. That's interesting. I have to On Thin Ice away the Emrakul, of course. Is there a way that I can get out of this with some little mana? I don't know. I would need to find a Solitary Confinement off the top, I think. Well, they nature's claimed away our guy. I don't think we can get out of this anymore. I can play a forest. I can On Thin Ice away the Emrakul so that we're not immediately dead. They Reflection of Kiki Jiki, Sundering Titan, blow up our lands, and just have us dead the next turn. So let's scoop it up. Huh. Sundering Titan is a spicy hit with Indomitable Creativity. That's interesting. I also like that we don't have to deal with Archons necessarily. That makes things a little bit easier for us, I think. All right, let's bring in On Thin Ice, get rid of Destiny Spinner, submit. So we're a little bit more prepared to deal with the tokens. I'm not going to bring in Veil of Summer because we saw Teferi there, and we still haven't seen any counterspells from them. And hopefully we can just run hot for the last game. Realistically, I think if we can resolve a Blood Moon while they don't have a way to generate treasures in play, they just lose. Because I don't think they play any non-mountain lands. Oh, this is a lot of nothing. I feel like realistically the Sithis just dies and then the Enchantress's presence comes down and then we die anyway. So let's mulligan. Okay. I think I get rid of the Hollowed Haunting here. We just let Sithis eat it on the first one. We hope to draw land and then either play Blood Moon or Sithis on turn 3. Let's get rid of Hollowed Haunting since it's the furthest away from being cast. And let's just lead on tapped Temple Garden. Leading on Temple Garden is also kind of nice because it probably puts them off of thinking that we're going to start with Blood Moon anytime soon. We do need to sort of fix our mana before we do that. Utopia Sprawl helps. Do I lead Sithis or Utopia Sprawl here? We're definitely getting a basic forest. So if I play Sithis, they probably fetch Bolt. We don't have a land, but if we do draw land next turn, I can Utopia Sprawl the forest, pick red, play Blood Moon. I think that's promising. And if they don't bolt the Sithis, then we just get to start making value. Opponent cracks Scalding Tarn. What you got? They get Jetmir's Garden tapped. Are they going to remove the Sithis? They got to remove the Sithis, right? Okay, yeah, they bolt it. They have Scalding Tarn up, so they're still representing Spell Pierce, which is a little annoying. Alright, we drew a second Utopia Sprawl. Do I just play the other Sithis? Or do I wait until I can go Sithis Utopia Sprawl? They have 6 cards in hand. I think it's a little too likely that they get to go to Fairy next turn and bounce a Utopia Sprawl. Let's play out Sithis. See what happens. I want to keep the pressure on them to get rid of our stuff. So hopefully they use answers for general enchantments that should be going towards Blood Moon or tap out on their turn. Them just getting a Teferi down is another way that they can eventually get rid of Blood Moon. So that is spooky. They fetch, they shock, they tap a green. What does that mean? Nature's Claim, okay. That is something that could have killed the Blood Moon that is not now. Do they play Wrenn and 6 here? They do. Alright. We get to resolve a Blood Moon, and they probably don't have an answer for it immediately. So we might be able to steal the game with that. Utopia Sprawl. Red, get ready for the bad news. It's Blood Moon time. Alright, we are also pretty choked on mana here, but our opponent is in a rougher spot than we are, especially once we get this Sterling Grove down to protect Blood Moon. Unless they sided in Force of Vigors, I don't think they can really do anything. Plains. Let's just go ahead and play Enchantress's Presence. I want to get a card out of the Sterling Grove. If we had one more forest instead of the Temple Garden, we would have been able to protect our stuff there and draw a card. Opponent picks something up with Wrenn and 6. Yep. Should I have brought in Rest in Peace, do you think? I don't know. Plains. Play Sterling Grove. Draw trigger. Prismatic Vista. Not super exciting. Play out of Plains. Okay. I'm probably going to pop this Sterling Grove here just to get rid of Wrenn and 6. Opponent plays Bloodstained Mire. Alright. Plus is Wrenn and 6. Up to 7. We're in the danger zone with it now. Let's pop Sterling Grove. Do I get Flame Blitz or Oblivion Ring? Instep, deal 5 damage to each Planeswalker. That's just kind of sexy. I think I like Flame Blitz the best here. I haven't cast a Flame Blitz in a while. Cast, definitely not cycling that. Prismatic Vista, not very exciting. Let's go ahead and play it though. We definitely need to find another Enchantress effect soon, so we can try to close this game out. We're in a good spot now though, at least. They haven't found a Fable yet, and this Wrenn and 6 is going to go away soon. Plus Flame Blitz can get rid of future Planeswalkers should they find a way to play them somehow. They deal us 1, that's fine. Eventually they could cast Sundering Titan the old-fashioned way, and that's kind of spooky. Alright, we didn't draw anything there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are 1 land away from just hard casting Sundering Titan, and I do not like that. Because that could still very much kill us. They don't have it yet. They have outs that they can draw still, though. We draw. They have an upkeep effect, maybe? We draw another Blood Moon. Alright, that draws us an extra card at least. No Enchantress yet. Play planes. Pass the turn. Alright, who's going to draw their outs first? We could also just draw a win condition and start beating in from here. They deal 2 damage to us. Okay. So they don't have to discard that. That makes sense. We draw. Sterling Grove. Alright, that gets us another tutor that finds an Enchantress's presence probably. Let's see what we draw first, though. Still drawing air. I think I wait on the Sterling Grove tutor because I'm slightly more... Because I'm already kind of likely to just draw an enchantment, and then I can know what I'm going to draw and then pick based on whatever I get with the presence trigger, is what I'm thinking. They keep scaring me with these upkeep effects. It's making me think that they have Force of Vigor, but I know they don't now with the Sterling Grove. Alright, we draw second Sterling Grove, which is nice. I think that means I pop this one. Do I just go for Hollowed Haunting? And try to close the game out? There's an argument for that, I think. I think Presence is a better pick, though. White, green, Sterling Grove. That draws our other Enchantress's Presence, and then we get to cast that and draw another card. 1, 2... Well, I just have to tap all those anyway. I'm not going to use the mana for anything. Might as well. In case I draw something that I can spend white mana on. I draw on Thin Ice. Do I leave that in hand because of being afraid of Sundering Titan? I probably do. I think that's correct. It would give them an extra Sundering Titan trigger, but it gives us an out that we have right now. And I don't want to pop this other Sterling Grove in case they did bring in Force of Vigors. We draw Enchantress's Presence. We're just going to be drawing a lot of cards now. We found Hollowed Haunting, and it looks like we're going to be closing out the game now soon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sithis. Okay. We don't really want to be drawing any more cards with our enchantments, so I'm probably not going to cast the Sithis. Let's play you. Let's play new Sterling Grove. Draw a bunch of cards. Yep. Destiny Spinner. All right. Abundant Growth. All right. Let's Abundant Growth one of our mountains. Draw a bunch of cards. Get another Spirit. Spirits keep growing each other too, which is very nice. Found another land. Found another On Thin Ice. Okay. I think I just cast one of these On Thin Ice now to get another Spirit and draw some more cards. Yep. 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 Hooray! Alright, we're 2-0, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, round 3, and we lost the die roll. Our opponent kept 7. We have, honestly, a pretty reasonable hand. I wish this Hollowed Haunting was a land or a Utopia Sprawl, but other than that, I'm pretty happy. Abundant Growth means we can cast Blood Moon once we find a third land, of course. Sithis gives us a way to draw some extra cards, but is a little bit vulnerable, and Hollowed Haunting gives us a way to possibly pivot into winning the game pretty quickly or make a bunch of blockers, so let's keep. What is our opponent playing? We don't really have early interaction if they're something ridiculously fast, but it doesn't look like they are. Stomping Ground, Stomping Ground, Stomping Ground, Stomping Ground. Let's just play Stomping Ground tapped. See what our opponent does. Stomping Ground tapped definitely doesn't signal to them what we're playing. I don't really want to play the Sithis out before I can draw cards with it, so I don't know if I'm going to cast anything next turn either. Unless I draw another Sithis or something like that. Overgrown Tomb. Aw. Nurturing Peatland. Alright, Wall of Roots. That means we're playing against Yawg. Yep, definitely Yawgmoth. The Sithis is going to be safe, probably. I hope. We drew Sterling Grove, though, so we can make sure of that, I guess. We need to get the Solitary Confinement down kind of quickly is the thing. I'm definitely playing the Plains here either way. So let's think. I play Sterling Grove here. They do whatever. Hopefully we're not dead. They could play Yawgmoth. Them playing Yawgmoth is part of the reason that I don't really want to play Sithis here, because they could just kill it. If I play Sterling Grove here, I draw a card my next turn, so I have 7 cards in hand again. I play a land, I go down to 6. I play Solitary Confinement, I go down to 5. My 5 is Hollowed Haunting, Blood Moon, Abundant Growth, Sithis, and a mystery card. I discard probably Hollowed Haunting to my first Solitary Confinement trigger, and then I start drawing cards with Sithis afterward, but I don't have double Enchantress effect yet. I would have to find it with Sterling Grove, and then that makes Sithis vulnerable again. I think I gotta play the Sithis out and just start drawing extra cards. If they play land Yawgmoth, they would have to put a Wall of Roots and a Young Wolf into killing Sithis, so they might not do it. We're just kind of trying to fade them having it right now. They could have Grist to kill it. Maybe I should have played Sterling Grove first. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Sterling Grove was the right play now that I've done this, but we'll see. All right, opponent untaps. Opponent plays another Wall of Roots. All right, we're not dead immediately, it looks like. They played Boseiju. They didn't kill something with Boseiju. That's curious. If we get Blood Moon down next turn, we can stop them from playing a hard cast Yawgmoth. Looks like that might be Eldritch Evolutioning into one here, though. Yep, Eldritch Evolution getting rid of Wall of Roots. I assume that's Yawg. Yep, there's Yawgmoth. Okay. Opponent's gonna snipe our Sithis immediately. Okay. That's annoying. Can't say I didn't see that coming, though. What do we have in the sideboard for them? Rest in Peace definitely seems good. Flame Blitz doesn't do much. Veil of Summer doesn't do much, although maybe they would bring in Thought Seizes. I don't think it's worth it doing that, though. Destiny Spinner, we're not going to bring in. Force of Vigors, of course not. Leyline of Sanctity, probably not. Alright, Sithis is dead. We draw Destiny Spinner. We could just Blood Moon because our opponent doesn't have any basics right now and try to reassemble something before they can get back in the game. Hopefully we can stop them from comboing on us, at least with this, and then just sort of stall out the game with creatures. Alright, opponent untaps. What you got? Destiny Spinner can't block Yawgmoth, but it can block and kill Young Wolf. Let's start off with Abundant Growth on our Stomping Ground. We draw a card. We draw a Forest. Play the Forest. Play Spinner. Next turn we can play Hollowed Haunting. And I think we might be able to steal this game just by making blockers and starting to attack our opponent. Endurance, okay. Why are they playing Endurance? They put our Sithis on the bottom of our deck. Alright. They get a free card draw with the Endurance. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Sort of a desperation move, but alright. They shrink Destiny Spinner. Okay, that makes sense now. Because now they can attack in with the Young Wolf and it'll kill the Destiny Spinner if we block with it. That makes sense. That was a smart play. I like that. Opponent has 7 cards in hand. They found a Forest. They found a second Young Wolf, so they can do the card draw combo now. But they still don't have appropriate mana. Opponent attacks. We're going to take 4. Okay. Man, I really wish I played that Sterling Grove on turn 2. Alright. So they can draw a bunch of cards, but they don't actually have a way to kill us yet. Let's just play out Hollowed Haunting. If I draw a land, I can play 3 enchantments next turn. So we'll see what happens. If they deal too much damage to themselves and then don't find an appropriate way to kill us, we might be in a good spot. Oh, it looks like they found Court of Calling. They can Court X2, finding their Blood Artist, and we're dead. Okay. Unfortunate. I'm not going to make them play that out, though. I don't want to be that kind of guy. Let's bring in Rest in Peace. Let's cut Emrakul. Let's cut... 1 Destiny Spinner. Do I cut a Blood Moon? They do have a lot of ways to get around it. I don't want to cut all of them, but I don't really want to cut any of the core, and I think Blood Moon is sort of unsexy against them. It's not too bad, but like we saw how they got around it last time with the Cord, so let's do it like this and hope for the best. They're definitely going to have a lot of enchantment removal is the issue. Alright, we have Rest in Peace, Utopia Sprawl, Sanctum Weaver, Solitary Confinement. We have Interaction, but we don't have any Enchantress effects. Huh. You know, I'm leaning towards mulliganing this. I feel like it's a little too mana heavy. At a glance, this looks like a great hand, but this Solitary Confinement really does not do anything without ways for us to draw a bunch of extra cards, so I think we have to mulligan and just find an Enchantress. There's not an Enchantress in this hand, so we're going to go down to 5. Alright, Rest in Peace, Sithis, Sterling Grove, 2 lands. That is actually a reasonable hand, I think. We're going to lead on the Sterling Grove this time. Opponent mulligan down to 6. Let's see if they join us at 5. They keep 6. Alright, we're going to keep. Oblivion Ring and Sithis to the bottom. We're going to shuffle that back to the top soon, though. Play Windswept Heath, pass the turn. I do kind of want to draw land, so I'm not going to crack this yet. But I am going to play this Sterling Grove on turn 2, I think. Opponent leads on Young Wolf instead of a Mana Dork. That's good news for us. It means they're not playing Grist next turn, at least. We draw Utopia Sprawl. That's a little awkward with how our mana is set up right now, but it's not the end of the world. At least it's another enchantment for Sithis, and it gives us more mana eventually. Go ahead and play Sterling Grove. Pass. I'm probably going to play Sithis next turn. I'm going to play Twilight Mire. I would love to draw another Forest, so I can Utopia Sprawl and not be losing mana that turn. I'm going to play Wall of Roots. Alright. Birds of Paradise. 3 cards left in hand. And hits us for 1. Alright. We draw Abundant Growth. Alright, let's go ahead and run out Sithis. I want to start drawing cards as quickly as possible. We're missing a land drop here, but hopefully it's not going to be the end of the world. They would need double enchantment removal to get rid of Sithis right here, so it looks like we're good for now. Or they would need, like, Boseiju into a Grist. Please don't have Boseiju into a Grist. I'll be very sad. Or I guess they would cast Grist, then cast Boseiju for 1 on Sterling Grove, and then blow up Sithis by sacking Yawgmoth, probably. Don't have that. Please don't have that. Eldritch Evolution, that's going to get Yawgmoth. They don't know that we have the Rest in Peace, so that's good. We can turn off the combo at least. Do they have a way to get... Alright, that finds us a land, but that gets them out of step 1 here. Do I just get a Forest, or do I get a Temple Garden? I think I get a Temple Garden for extra flexibility. They're going to kill Sithis. Alright. Well, I was right about 3-drop into Boseiju. I just wasn't right about which 3-drop. Okay. We don't have extra card draw anymore. We get 1 extra card draw off of Abundant Growth, but it just kind of cantrips. It isn't an Enchantress. Opponent plays Verdant Catacombs. Alright. Gets a Forest. Plays Birds of Paradise. At least it's not another Yawgmoth yet. 3 cards in our opponent's hand. We draw another Abundant Growth. I think I go ahead and Abundant Growth, hoping to draw into an Enchantress sooner. Instead of playing the Utopia Sprawl here, we find Solitary Confinement. That's not particularly useful. Play Rest in Peace. Hopefully they don't have more enchantment removal immediately. And we can at least make them take the long way of killing us instead of just comboing us to death. They did not have a Force there, so that's good. What you got? Man, this is a scary matchup for Enchantress, because they just have a lot of interaction for us. Opponent has a Grist. Scary again. Not crazy scary because of the Rest in Peace, but it does give them more of a clock still. At least it's not going to ult on us and kill us anytime soon. And it can also kill our future Sithises. Let's Abundant Growth on our plains. See what we draw. We draw Windswept Heath. Let's pass. Double Solitary Confinement in hand is not where we want to be, for sure. We gotta draw an Enchantress, and we gotta draw it soon, because they're eventually going to find their way out of this Rest in Peace, and they're also eventually just going to be able to beat us to death. They're hitting us for 6 a turn right now. They're going to hit us for 6 this turn, 7 the next turn, so if we crack this Windswept Heath and don't have an answer for something, we just die. They can also proliferate on their Yawgmoth, though, to kill us next turn. They didn't attack with the Insect token, weird. They might be representing a Chord there. So we're dead next turn regardless of if we crack this Windswept Heath. We just have to draw something now. So I think I do just crack that. Get a Forest. Hopefully draw out of this somehow. I don't know how we do though. They shrink the Yawgmoth and draw a card, killing their Dryad Arbor. Do they have a way to kill us that isn't just beating us down? Because I don't know why they would have done that. They have another Boseiju, okay. I'll take a Forest, I guess. Alright, so looking on the bright side of things, I guess we have more mana. But we're still in a terrible spot. One of our best draws is Sithis, but they can just kill that with Grist immediately. They can also just find their combo pretty easily from here. I think they probably have Chord in hand because of how they kept an Insect token back. I don't know why they would have attacked us before just doing the combo, though. Chord X2 finds a Blood Artist. Alright. Do they have another Yawgmoth? They might be fishing for one. Or can they just deal 8 more to us with the current board? I don't know. I think we're dead next turn anyway, but I'm curious how this game plays out, so I want to see what line they're doing. Another activation, yep. We're at 6. They play a Forest. Did they find another Yawgmoth? Looks like a Strangleroot, guys. Yep, alright, and they got it. GG's to our opponent. That was a rough one, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, round 4. Our opponent's on the play. It looks like we have a pretty reasonable hand. We have 2 lands, Sanctum Weaver, Sterling Grove, Blood Moon, on Thin Ice for interaction, and eventually the Solitary Confinement. We have a lot of action. We don't have an Enchantress yet, but I think it's okay, so let's keep. I gotta get kind of back in the zone for playing since it's actually the next day for me. My roommate got home last night with a new strain of weed called Mac 1, and I was incapacitated. Okay, we found an Enchantress. I think I'd probably just go Windswept Heath here, although I kind of want to draw a land. Opponent played Arid Mesa and mulliganed to 5, so they could be a lot of things. Arid Mesa go is usually burn. Let's just go Windswept Heath pass. Oh, my opponent recognized me. That's awesome. That always feels really good. Opponent gets Hollowed Fountain tapped. Alright. Inconclusive right now. Maybe they're a Hammertime deck? Would make sense with Arid Mesa, Urza Saga, alright. So far this Blood Moon's looking pretty nice. Opponent plays a Memnite, definitely looks like Hammertime to me, and they said that they're not on Affinity, so... Do I want to crack the Windswept Heath here? I don't think I do yet. We draw another Blood Moon. Hilariously, I wish that we I wish that we shuffled that away. Let's get a Plains. Let's play Sanctum Weaver. I'm pretty sure it's not going to get removed. And hopefully we're not just going to be dead. They haven't played a Sigarda's Aid yet, so I don't think we should be. And I'd like to get this Blood Moon down before they get to tutor with Urza's Saga. They found a basic Plains, which can be bad for us. They're also representing Spell Pierce as a possibility. We draw Abundant Growth. Okay. Let's Abundant Growth on the Plains. Hopefully draw land. We draw Sithis. What do I do here? I can cast Blood Moon. They can make a construct in response. That should cut them off of Pure Steel Paladin at least. Then next turn I can go Sithis, Solitary Confinement, and hopefully lock the game up. If they have exactly Sigarda's Aid and a hammer in hand, we might wind up dying here, but we'll see. Alright, cast Blood Moon. Opponent untaps. Opponent attacks for 2. They didn't play Sigarda's Aid, so it looks like we're Gucci. They're not going to have blue mana up. Let's go Sithis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make white mana. Let's go ahead and play Anthenice first. Well, I need to pick a land to enchant with it, I suppose. Let's get rid of the construct since it's a little scary. Then let's play Solitary Confinement, play the Forest, pass the turn, and I think we got this now. The player I'm playing against says that they're in the Affinity Discord that I'm a part of, which is really, really cool. If you play my Affinity deck, or not really my Affinity deck, but if you watch my Affinity content and enjoy playing Affinity, I really recommend that you get in the Affinity Discord. You should be able to find a post about it on Reddit, I believe, is how I found it. Opponent plays Stoneforge, getting Cauldron complete, Solitary Confinement triggers. Goodbye, Blood Moon. Let's play... cancel. Play you, draw a card, draw Abundant Growth. Let's play Sterling Grove. That protects our enchantments, and I think they don't have a way that they can get out of this anymore. We found Destiny Spinner. Let's play Sanctum Weaver. Draw a couple cards. Okie dokie. Play Destiny Spinner. Okie dokie. Play Abundant Growth on you. Okie dokie. We draw Anthenice. We are out of things that we can cast. We draw Sanctum Weaver. And let's pass. And we should be able to kill them next turn by just animating a bunch of lands with Destiny Spinner. Opponent puts Cauldron into play. I assume they're not going to attack. I don't see why they would. Solitary Confinement triggers. Goodbye Temple Garden. Play Snow-Covered Forest. Let's make white mana. Let's Anthenice away the Cauldron. Okay. And I think we should just have lethal now. Our opponent's at 19. We have lots of enchantments. Let's... Did this one... It doesn't say if it entered the battlefield this turn or not since it's not already a man land. That's a little annoying. Alright, let's just activate Destiny Spinner a bunch of times. We have a million enchantments, so... Hooray! Alright, let's see what we want to side in. All the Force of Vigors and Seal of Primordium. I think that's all I sided in last time, too. Let's get rid of Emrakul, since they're definitely not milling us. It looks like we're playing against Blue-White Hammer, where last time we were playing against Mono-White Hammer, so I might keep in all the Blood Moons. We'll see. Let's cut a Destiny Spinner. What did I side out last time? Let's side out one Blood Moon still. They're not like a 4-color deck, so it's not a must-have against them necessarily, although it is still nice. Did I take out Oblivion Ring or Hollowed Haunting? I'm pretty sure it was one of those. Let's cut the Oblivion Ring. Hollowed Haunting making blockers might be nice. Alright, so our opponent's on the play. We have pretty solid hand. We don't have a way to protect ourselves, but we have basically our whole engine and a shit ton of mana, so let's keep. Opponent plays Basic Plains and Esper Sentinel. That's a little annoying. That might make me not play Utopia Sprawl on turn 1 now. Although Blood Moon is a good argument otherwise. So if I don't do anything on turn 1, next turn, what do? I just play Sanctum Weaver pass? That kind of sucks. I don't want to give them an extra draw, though, is the thing. So I think I just pass. Opponent plays Urza's Saga. Makes me wish I played that Utopia Sprawl on turn 1. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic. Okie dokie. What you get an opponent? If they get a Cauldron... Okay, they get Colossus Hammer. I was about to say if they get a Cauldron, it means that we have a little bit more time. Hammer might be an immediate threat for us, though. Alright, let's just untap. I'm fine with drawing a land. We draw Windswept Heath. Get a Forest. Get a Plains. Let's just go Sanctum Weaver pass. Not sure if we're going to be dead next turn, or the turn after that yet. I might have played a little bit too carefully by not giving them that draw with Esper Sentinel. Because I could have played Blood Moon there and at least turned off the Urza Saga. And maybe mana screwed them a little bit in case they're planning on playing Pure Steel Paladin here. But we'll see. Generally in sideboard games, you want to have your Force of Vigor in your opening hand against Hammer anyway. Opponent plays Stoneforge Mystic, getting another Hammer. That's spooky. Spooky, spooky. Especially because they could tutor another one with Saga. They haven't played Sigarda's Aid though, so I assume they don't have it. Let's play Windswept Heath. Let's... Crack Heath. Get a Forest. What's the best way to sequence? I could go Utopia Sprawl on this forest, naming Plains, paying 1, then play Sithis. It's kind of a goofy way to do it, though. If I don't pay 1, do I get to do extra stuff? Because I need to protect myself here, but I also need to try to find a long-term game plan, too, is the issue. I don't want to give them extra draws because they've shown that they don't have Sigarda's Aid yet, otherwise they would have just hit us there, I think. We have 1 mana right now. I could go Utopia Sprawl, not let them draw, play Sithis, play Blood Moon, draw a card. I could go Utopia Sprawl, let them draw, then I have 3 mana and 2 enchantments. Yeah, let's Sprawl, prevent the draw. Yes. Okay. Name white. Cast Sithis. Red, Blood Moon. We draw Abundant Growth. There's a decent chance we can win if we just get to untap next turn, because I think we're going to be able to find enough ways to protect ourselves. But it all depends on if they play Sigarda's Aid here. They play Arid Mesa, which is a mountain. They have 5 cards in hand, we know 2 of them. They play Pure Steel Paladin. That doesn't kill us immediately. They're going to hit us for a bunch, but we're not dead right this second, at least. We're only dead soon. Right. Sanctum Weaver makes 4 mana right now. Ooh. Ooh. We get to kill that Pure Steel Paladin for free. Interesting. Alright, I think I let them draw with the Esper Sentinel this turn because I kind of want extra mana. But I'm not sure if I play Enchantress's Presence or not. I probably play Enchantress's Presence, right? Because I cast Enchantress's Presence, they get to draw a card, they have 5 cards in hand. I gain a life, draw a card. I have a white mana with which to cast On Thin Ice, then I can make green mana and do a bunch of stuff from there. Yeah, let's do that. Alright. They get a draw. But we also get a draw. We draw a Forest, which is nice to have. Let's On Thin Ice the Plains, draw 2 cards, gain a life. Found another On Thin Ice, that's nice to have. Get rid of Pure Steel. Okay. Let's play the Forest. This is going to tap for green. Play Abundant Growth on the Forest so we can tap it for white and play the other On Thin Ice. Draw 2 more cards. We draw another Blood Moon. Okay. Play Sanctum Weaver. I'm drawing the cards before playing the On Thin Ice because if I draw Solitary Confinement, I will just play that. Force of Vigor is really nice to have. I think that seals it for us, basically. White. We're going to get rid of the Esper Sentinel so they're not drawing extra cards. I don't really care about Stoneforge putting stuff into play. We can't play Sterling Grove. We can play this other Sanctum Weaver for basically infinite mana, though. And we should have the game from here. Let's Abundant Growth you, draw some extra cards. And let's just pass. Move to discard, get rid of Blood Moon, Forest, Misty Rainforest, Prismatic Vista. Definitely not casting this Enchantress's Presence. After you get about 2 Enchantress effects in play, I try to avoid casting any more because it is possible that you just kill yourself since these draw effects are not May abilities. Haywire Might, that's a little annoying. They don't have green mana though, so it's fine. And we can just On Thin Ice that away or protect our stuff with the double Sterling Grove next turn. I think I just go ahead and force here. So if they have Blacksmith skill, they use it. Get rid of Sithis. Opponent gains 2 life. We draw Prismatic Vista. Let's play Prismatic Vista. It's a mountain. Let's tap for green, tap for white. Play Sterling Grove to give our stuff protection. Okay. Play Destiny Spinner. And I think that should seal it up for us. Now we can just start activating Spinner on our lands. Hooray! GG's. And I'll see you in the last round. Alright, final round with Enchantress. Let's get this 4-1. Opponent's keeping 7. I might keep this hand despite the fact that it has Emrakul in the opening hand. Early Sithis is really nice. The mana's fine. We have some interaction. I'd keep this as a 6, I think, so let's see what happens. Maybe we'll actually cast the Emrakul. Who knows? Opponent plays Ragavan. We are gonna On Thin Ice that immediately. We draw Enchantress's Presence, okay. Goodbye Ragavan. Looks like we're playing against a Murktide deck, so it could go either way, really. The Sithis is in danger, but if we can resolve our enchantments, they shouldn't have a way to get rid of them. So I might hold the Sithis for whenever I can cast something afterward. Solitary Confinement, okay. We have a direction to go in. Opponents representing Counterspell, let's just play Forest Pass. I want to hold the Utopia Sprawl until I can cantrip with it. Opponent plays Consider, alright. Hopefully they will get greedy and tap out or something next turn so I can resolve this Enchantress's presence. Opponent cracks Polluted Delta. Like maybe they'll feel like they have to race us and play an early Murktide or something. Doesn't look like they can play Murktide next turn, though, especially since they didn't play another fetch land. We draw On Thin Ice. Our mana's a little awkward. Do I just play Enchantress's Presence and assume that it's going to get countered? I don't really want to do that. Let's just pass. Because now they can represent... Because now they could cast Archmage's Charm too, and I don't really want to feed them that. They bolt us, that's fine. It's one less removal spell for Sithis, at least. I need one more Forest pretty bad. Opponent plays Ragavan, dashed, okay. They get a snow-covered Forest, which isn't the end of the world, although we did kind of want to draw that. And we're not going to be able to On Thin Ice this Ragavan away. We draw Abundant Growth. Let's play Presence. They're probably going to counterspell this, I assume. They could also Spell Pierce here. They don't. Huh. Well, that's already great for us. That means even if they're countering our stuff, we're going to be getting extra cards. And they should not have an answer for Enchantress's Presence in their main deck. They could find an Oblivion Ring from our deck to get rid of it, but that's it. They could cast our Enchantress's Presence if they want to. Maybe they can play Enchantress back at us with Ragavan, that'd be funny. Does not look like they're going to do that, though. We draw another Sithis. Let's play Abundant Growth. We draw Windswept Heath. We draw Prismatic Vista. Play Vista. Crack it for a Forest. Play Sithis. See if they want to counter this. They still don't. Utopia Sprawl on a Forest. Tapping a green. We draw 2 cards and we gain a life. Now the Sithis is card advantage positive regardless of if they kill it or not. Which I assume they will. They do. That's fine. We draw Abundant Growth in a Forest and we gained 1. I think I want another green here. And let's just pass. I'm mostly curious if they're going to let us resolve this Solitary Confinement in a little bit. Let's discard Stomping Ground. Even if we draw Blood Moon, it isn't particularly good against them, especially since they have the treasure up for counterspell anyway, and they have Ragavan that they can make more treasures with. This is part of the annoying way of how Enchantress is built, is we just can't deal with this Ragavan being dashed to hit us, because all of our spells are sorcery speed. Destiny Spinner, damn, I wanted that one. Am I going to cast the Emrakul on the Murktide player? That would be awesome. I think the thing that I want to draw the most is... Opponent plays a land. I want to draw one of my enchantments to give Shroud to Sithis. We still don't draw that. Opponent has 5 cards in hand, we know one of them. Let's play the Windswept Heath. Crack it, get a Forest. White, green, green. Cast Sithis, draw a card. See if they let it resolve. They do. Utopia Sprawl on a Forest. Draw 2, gain a life. Unholy Heat. Okie dokie. We draw Sterling Grove. A little late, but that is what we wanted. So I'm not going to complain that much. Let's name white this time. Let's play the Sterling Grove. Okay. We found the Oblivion Ring, so they're not going to be able to get rid of Solitary Confinement now. Let's play Abundant Growth here. Tapping for a green. Draw a card. We draw a second Solitary Confinement, so now they can even counter one and we don't care. But we do have to find another Enchantress effect to actually have everything come down the way we want it to. Let's play Abundant Growth on the regular planes. Draw a couple more cards. Found the other Solitary Confinement, so now we have all of them in our hand. And Sanctum Weaver. Okay, let's discard Forest, Emrakul, and Blood Moon. They also have Otawara as an out, I suppose, but because of the Sterling Grove, we're protected from that. Our graveyard shuffles in, so we're likely to draw Sithis again. Opponent plays Flooded Strand. Okie dokie. What you got, opponent? They can still counter our things. They play Murktide Regent, okay. Well, we have a lot of ways to interact with that. I assume they're going to dash Ragavan again. Yep, there's Ragavan. They don't dash it. Weird. They have 2 cards in hand. We have Destiny Spinner. Okay. So we should just be Gucci now, because now they also can't interact by countering stuff. Cast Destiny Spinner. Draw a card. Prismatic Vista. Okay. Cast... On Thin Ice. Draw a card. We draw Sithis. Goodbye, Murktide Regent. Cast Sithis. White and a green. Draw a card. Now we just play Solitary Confinement, so they definitely can't kill us. And probably the turn after next is when we can kill them with a bunch of things animated with Destiny Spinner, because we have to get the mana from Sanctum Weaver first. Alright, I think we have stolen the game from Murktide because they didn't have the counterspell for Enchantress's Presence when they needed it. Discard Prismatic Vista. Pretty easy pick. Opponent untaps. What you got, opponent? Ledger Shredder. Alright. And looks like Expressive Iteration. Yep, with a Ledger Shredder trigger. I'll probably go ahead and on thin ice away the Ledger Shredder just so they're not getting extra looks through their deck in case they do have like a random main deck Engineered Explosives or something. And then that card's going to be the main thing that we're looking out for next game. Cutting the Stony Silences from the board is a little bit annoying because Engineered Explosives on 2 or 3 can be very good against us. It would hit a lot. It hits a lot of things on 1-2, but it's not. These cards aren't very important. Alright, opponent draws a card with Mishra's Bauble. We discard a Solitary Confinement to Solitary Confinement. Let's play on Thin Ice. Draw a couple cards, get rid of Shredder. Draw Sterling Grove. Draw Forests. Goodbye Ledger Shredder. Opponent cracks their Flooded Strand. Gets an island, and are they going to get a Ledger Shredder trigger in response, perhaps? Nope. Okay. Play the Forests. Play Sanctum Weaver. Draw a couple cards. Because we're at a pretty high life total still anyway, it doesn't really matter, but even if we were scared of our opponent having Engineered Explosives main deck here, what we could do is just play Solitary Confinement as a secondary copy. Actually, no, we have Shroud, so we can't do that. If we didn't have Shroud, or if we really wanted to play around Engineered Explosives, what we could do is play Solitary Confinement and then Oblivion Ring one of the Solitary Confinements. So if they did EE on 3, they would blow up the Oblivion Ring and just give us back a Solitary Confinement. When it plays Otawara, I mean, okay. Hooray! Alright, what do we want to bring in? I feel like if there's any matchup where I'm bringing in the Veil of Summers, it's this one. Destiny Spinner is also probably a good pick, and then some amount of Rest in Peace. I don't know if all 3 of them's correct, but I think maybe 2, just to turn off some of their synergies. We still haven't gotten to cast Emrakul, very sad. Let's get rid of all the Blood Moons, since Murktide is also a Blood Moon deck. Let's get rid of... Let's just bring in 2 copies of Rest in Peace for now. And let's cut Emrakul and maybe 1 Abundant Growth. I don't want to cut any Destiny Spinners, of course, since I'm bringing 1 in. I don't want to cut any of the core cards, really. Yeah, let's just do that. I like Hollowed Haunting here because flying blockers can be relevant, and we found a Hollowed Haunting. Interesting. This hand we have turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 try to play Enchantress's Presence, and then Hollowed Haunting after that. Let's keep. We don't have protection from counterspells, and we don't have early game interaction really, but maybe we can just get off to a fast start. They might have Spell Pierce on turn 1. We have a second Utopia Sprawl though now, so that's nice. Play Sprawl. Do they have a Spell Pierce? They didn't play Ragavan on turn 1. That's the main thing that I was concerned about, because we wouldn't have had a way to deal with that quickly. They Spell Pierce, that's fine. That's not a Spell Pierce hitting one of these cards, so I don't mind that bad. It slows us down a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Opponent plays Polluted Delta. We draw Sterling Grove. Interesting. I think I play Sterling Grove here because it's more likely to draw out a counterspell for them. At least I think so. Opponent gets Steam Vents, and... gotta be a counterspell, right? Yep, there's their counterspell. They have 4 cards in hand now. If they're just planning to counter every enchantment that we have, including the Utopia Sprawls, I don't think that game plan's going to work for them. Because eventually we'll stick something, and it's going to be more important than the sort of do-nothing enchantments that they've been countering so far. Especially since they're tapping out now and we're going to be able to play Enchantress's Presence. They'll have a Murktide, it looks like, yep. But we're going to get to start drawing cards, and we'll see who wins this battle. Murktide's a 5/5, which is a respectable clock. They tapped out, and that kind of makes me think that they don't have more counterspells in their hand, though. I guess we'll see based on how they behave. Snow-covered plains. Do I just go straight for the Hollowed Haunting is the question. I think I do. Counterspell? Not a counterspell. They can Otawara still. None of our stuff has Shroud. But we're going to get a lot of blockers now if they don't have a way to deal with this Hollowed Haunting quickly. DRC, they have 3 cards in hand. They hit us for 5 again. We're going to go down to 9. We are slowly getting into Bolt killing us range. Hopefully not that quickly, though. Opponent plays a tap Steam Vents. They have 2 cards in hand. We have 3 enchantments currently. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's go Abundant Growth on you. Tapping a green. Make a Spirit. Draw a card. Enters play. We draw a Destiny Spinner. Draw another card. We draw Prismatic Vista. Not super interesting. I don't want to deal damage to myself here, though. Let's go... I think I want to wait on the Destiny Spinner to force things through counters, probably. Tap for a green. Utopia Sprawl this forest. Draw a card, get another Spirit. Another Prismatic Vista, not really what we wanted. Opponent cracks Scalding Tarn, goes down to 15. Do they have a counterspell now? Or are they going to remove a spirit? They go down to 13. They have 2 cards in hand. They Unholy Heat a spirit away. I mean, that's fine. We get to make at least 2 more spirits this turn because we still have 4 mana. Let's pick white, I guess. Let's play Destiny Spinner. Hold on. I'm tapping very strangely. Or let's play Sanctum Weaver, I mean. We draw. Utopia Sprawl. So I definitely tapped wrong for that. If I thought about Utopia Sprawl, I would have wanted to keep that up. Play Destiny Spinner. Draw a card, make a 3rd spirit. And I think we're going to win now. We found a Sterling Grove to protect our stuff from removal after we cast it next turn. We can start animating stuff if this Destiny Spinner sticks. Opponent only has 2 cards. Looks like they have Expressive Iteration to look for more stuff, though, so we'll see. But we have enough flying blockers to just kill this Murktide Regent. Engineered Explosives, okay. Wait, these aren't flying. Oh, I have to have 7 or more enchantments for them to have that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost. So these aren't flying blockers yet, which is a miscalculation that I wish I had noticed. But our opponent doesn't have enough bolts in hand to kill us anyway. They can get rid of both Sanctum Weaver and Destiny Spinner to try to stay alive, I guess. But I think we're going to be able to kill them with our spirits, because they're going to keep growing to 5/5s next turn. Hooray! Alright, I think if I remember correctly, I got a 4-1 with Enchantress last time I played it on the channel too, so pretty solid results from this deck so far. I haven't got a 5-0 with Enchantress, at least that I remember yet. Let's open up some of these treasure chests and see how we do on them. Sacred Foundry, that's medium. I feel like I'm consistently getting like 2 rares, usually bulk rares, and then 5 play points from treasure chests now. I don't know if the chests got nerfed or just that I was getting very lucky beforehand. But like, it's the same setup now. Very occasionally I'll get more play points, and I would really like to have more, because I like to have a nice padding of them. Yeah, like this kind of pack I'm pretty happy with. Of course, the best kind are ones where you get like actual playable cards that are worth something, but you can't always expect that. And one more, let's see what we get. Mind Moil, and 85 play points. That's actually a pretty good pack. Mind Moil. Whenever you cast a spell, put the cards in from your hand on the bottom of your library and then draw that many cards. So pretty funny with like Niv Mizzet, stuff like that in Commander. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. I think my plan is to start doing weekly polls as to what deck I'm going to be playing, and just let people decide. I'll see you in the next one.
Hey everyone, Shoe Nice again. Well, basically, go subscribe to Tez's YouTube channel. And for those who made it to the end of the video, thank you.